All right, welcome to Ongoing Volume Episode 12. I'm one of your hosts, Digital, with my co host.
Blade!
Welcome, Blade. How are we doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing dandy. Just had some power issues not that
Oh,
long
I'm
ago,
fully
so
aware.
I'm just going to let everyone know we kind of got part of the way through the beginning and then I lost power. And then our stuff, at least my stuff was corrupted. So I was like, well,
Take
let's just
two.
yeah.
Good news
So
is we weren't that far in, so.
that's true. Yes. Yeah. So quick, here's the agenda, right? So Blade's gonna give us anime news. We also want to go through, since Chainsaw Man is done, and we still want to talk about it. I made a tournament bracket for us to go talk about who we think we would win. I think it's like 16 characters I've listed, and then we're gonna talk about Ichi the Witch as well. So Blade, go ahead and kick us off.
Alrighty then. So, in news, One Piece live action is getting a season 3 premiering in 2027.
Nice.
Yeah. It's kind of odd going through this a second time, but we did have exactly the
Yes.
same.
But I want everyone to know the reaction is I'm very excited to again.
We're both very excited to see this. And we're mentioning that a lot of the live actions are usually meh, whereas One Piece is like, ooh.
Yes.
All right, and we got Crunchyroll will stream Kill Bill anime in Japan on April 11th, and we'll probably get that around the same time in the U.S. I'm guessing. I don't know exactly they didn't say in the U.S. So
And that's still like the Kill Bill, like I remember the movie with
Kill Blue.
Kill Blue, not Kill Bill.
Not
That's
Kill
very
Bill.
different. Yeah, okay. I was like, wait, I misheard.
I might misspoke.
Gotcha.
That could be my bad because I'm reading this quickly again.
Yeah.
It is Kill Blue.
Okay.
If I did mispronounce it earlier, I'm sorry. Next up, we got Dan Da Dan. Manga is getting a stage play. And I'm actually super excited for that. I was mentioning before, I've seen a couple stage plays, mainly the Persona 5 stage play that they have on Crunchyroll, and I think that was really good. And I would like to see more, but I doubt we're going to get it.
Yeah, I saw one. It was Jekyll and Hyde, like high school days. But I didn't know the story at all until going into it because I got invited to it. It wasn't even like my class. But
Mhm.
anyway, it was very exciting. So I would stage plays are good.
Yep. And next up, we got the there's a new webtoon brought to you by Blizzard called Overwatch Undivided. That was something I'm super excited for because I love Overwatch lore. Don't care for the game, but I love the lore.
Yeah, and to make this organic, right, and not seem like a rehearsal. So Blade and I did talk about it a little bit. I have never played Overwatch. I have seen it a million times for like the past decade, but I didn't know there was a bunch of lore. And so Blade was telling me about how great the lore was.
Yeah, the lore. I was mentioning that Overwatch 2 was originally just going to be the lore of the game. They're going to have a bunch of PvE events. At least that's the original one. But that's all we got. It was kind of weird what they did with it. And now they're kind of going back on some of it, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah. Yep. Changing the roadmap.
Yeah. Well, because what they did was completely stupid, and shouldn't have been done in the first place.
Yep.
Next up, we got a April Fool's joke that became reality. This is apparently there is a Oshi no Ko had an April Fool's joke of one of the characters, Kana Arima, Arima. Actually, you had a pirate ship. Apparently, that's now becoming a thing that's in Japan that you can buy tickets for. So, it'd be worth a shot if you guys like that anime. I have no clue about it.
No, if there's like a One Piece cruise coming to the US anytime soon, I'm
Oh,
down.
I would still do a One Piece cruise. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
I'll get dressed up. Yeah, I'll figure out what character I'm going to be and everything.
Yep. What character
Floating
would
in the water because you had a double fruit.
help me, guys!
Yeah. Oh no.
I don't know. I'd probably do Frankie if I did one of them, just because I think it'd be awesome to do the super.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Yeah. I'll have to put some thought into, like, who we would want to be, or, like, maybe someday we'll do, like, a One Piece, cosplay episode or something like that. That'd be fun.
Oh,
See what we come
that's
up
gonna
with.
be a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we got next up we got the Super Mario Galaxy movie opened, and in the opening week it got 372 million worldwide dollars.
Yeah, so they're doing really, really well, and I know I've seen a lot of folks, really wanting, like, a Super Mario Brothers, uh, like a Melee or Brawl, type of movie where it's just got all their characters, and, like, the success that they're getting kinda, like, hopefully, like, leans towards, like, I mean, would they do it?
I
They
think we
they
are
could.
gonna get a uh, Nintendo cinematic universe,
Yeah,
the
that'd be sick.
NCU. Yes.
Yeah, compete with those comic books.
They have enough lore and
Yeah.
everything, and they already brought like I mentioned last time that Star Fox was in this movie, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Where are we getting leaked? Where are we getting other franchises being brought into this?
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
can
that'd be
easily
really exciting. There's a
see,
lot to pull from.
yeah, I can easily see Link being thrown in at some point as well. That's one that I'm kind of hoping to see in the near future. A Zelda game, a Zelda movie. Sorry.
Yeah. I feel like a fun one would be Kirby.
Oh
Because he's
yeah.
cute, he eats everything, but he's crazy strong.
Boo-yoo!
You're, like, looking at him, you're like, "Oh, he's so cute." And it's like, "Stay away, he's going to he's going to eat
You did
everything."
not want him to eat you. Yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right. So now we got.
Or Metroid.
Oh yeah,
Metroid
Metroid
would
would
be
be another
fun.
good one.
Yeah.
I mean, they have so many good titles that they could choose from. I mean, yeah, they could do so much, add so much of
Mhm.
these worlds. So we got Demons in the Shadow Realm. Anime gets got announced to have the same day English dub, and I really like that, especially since I was
Mhm.
excited for this series. Anyways,
That's probably hard to do, right? I mean, obviously, we talked about a little bit last time with there's like a natural lag, right? Because it's
hmm
not the original, but it's like to line it all up and be willing to hold back
it
to
means they have
allow
to
that.
get the English actors and have them do it, and wait until all the translations and everything is done, and the audio be taken care of as well before they can release as a whole. So it does take more
Hmm.
time, of course.
Yeah,
Although if they do it right, they could easily do it in the same window. It just means that they would have to pretty much as soon as it gets announced, make the translation, send it over to the US so that at the same time they're getting the voice actors in Japan, we can get it in the US, and we can then kind of do the sound recording at the same time. But
yeah,
that is a lot of overhead that still has to happen before
yep,
they can do. So the next one, which is the one where we froze at.
yeah. Apologies.
So we got Mao. It's an anime that's to be streamed on Hulu in the US and on Disney Plus in Canada, Latin America, Australia, and New Zealand.
I wonder why.
I
That's
don't
like so hyper
know.
specific, especially because Disney and Hulu
They're
and
owned by
like
the
H.
same
No,
company.
right.
It's all Disney. I still
Hmm.
wonder why we even need a Hulu / Disney Plus, besides the fact that Disney just wants you to buy both of the subscriptions.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure a lot of Hulu is on the Disney Plus app now. Like, I
Yeah,
swear yes,
I've
yeah,
seen a lot of overlap.
yeah.
But
I don't
Hulu still
know.
has a lot of things that I don't think Disney wants on Disney Plus. Because they
Hmm.
did, especially in the early days of Hulu, they had some really interesting stuff that I don't think Disney wants in Disney Plus.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be more kid. The idea of Disney Plus was that it was a kid-friendly version.
that's true. The kids are getting older.
That's true.
They want anime and manga.
That's true. Yep. Now we got one that he hasn't heard finally. My
Hmm.
Hero Academia United Survival mobile game is revealed for 2026 global launch. Again, I have a kind of a mixed feeling on mobile games, but
Yeah, there's only like a handful, if that, like a mobile game that I'm like, oh yeah, I would vouch for that. Yeah.
I think one of the YouTubers I watched just actually did a series of the top 100 uh, mobile games. And he went through and played them all, and he said, out of the 100, he only kept 5 of them.
Oh wow.
And he would say that there's a lot of duplicates out there, which it really is. Like, you have no clue how many there are of sorting XYZ or
Yeah.
something like that. It just, there's a lot of repeats in the market. It's ridiculous.
I just want another Infinity Blade. I don't know if you ever played that. That game was very simple. It wasn't. Like you have a sword and you're supposed to like swing to like parry, X amount of times and then you'll finally beat a boss. But it was
Okay.
so simple. It was like Epic Games, one of their, big games at the time. And then anyway, it was very fun because then if you died, then it was like the next generation was coming behind to go beat this big bad guy. And there's like they made a story out of every time you died.
Interesting. No, I haven't
Yeah, it
played
was
that
really
one.
fun. Yeah, I don't think it's around anymore, but Fortnite has brought the Infinity Blade as a big special weapon every once in a while. It's because they have it.
Fair
Yep.
enough. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. And the final bit of news I have is Digimon Beat Break has announced the next arc, which is going to be called Gift. So, yeah,
What do you think as the Digimon?
I'm actually super excited for Beat Break. It's actually had a
Okay.
very interesting story. I have been keeping up with it. I am kind of upset that the main character again got the ultimate before the other two, but whatever. I think that's typical for Digimon for the main character to always have the highest Digimon. For
They
this one,
have to.
technically, he's tied with the other person in the group because um, one of the characters is a super well-known person, Digimon tamer. In this world, they call cleaners, and he's had his ultimate Digimon the whole time, but he's usually not as part of the main three. I would say he's like the person that calls in when things get really really bad. And he's usually
Oh,
off
okay.
doing his own thing, which you
He's
find
the
out what
trump
his own
card.
thing is. Yeah, I doubt. I think in the next season he's gonna be less of a trump card because now we have two Digimon with the that can go into the ultimate. And
Sweet.
more of a he's gonna be part of the group dynamic, especially since a lot of his secrets have been revealed to the whole group. So
Yeah.
I
Sweet.
am excited to see more. I really like Beat Break. I and I'm really happy that it's getting a dub slowly but surely. The dub's pretty
Yeah.
decent too. I've watched both the subbed and the dub, so
Okay. Sweet.
yeah.
That's sick.
That's all for news. Back to you, Digital T.
Yeah. So this is our first tournament bracket we've ever set up. I tried to pick 16 of the like more popular slash powerful characters between part one and part two of Chainsaw Man. So since it's done, like it's done, right? They're not continuing it. They've confirmed it. I wanted to go, all right, well, let's go see who we think's the strongest out of all of these. And it's a series of 1v1s, obviously, right? Tournament style.
Okay.
So the way we're going to proceed is Blade and I have to agree on who we think wins, and then we'll sit here and go over like if we think differently, we have to go and work on convincing. So that's going to be how we go about it. All right, ready, Blade?
All right, go for it.
So the seeds are randomized too. I try not add anything. I try to use as much as I can to be as random as possible. So in our first matchup, Makima versus Kishibe.
Oh boy. I think
So
Makima has this one, to be honest.
I think it's a stomp. I think Makima
Yeah. I
stomps
know
Kishibe.
Kishibe's strong, but he's having to pull a lot of tricks. He was trying to pull a lot of tricks to try to
He
beat
needed a
Makima.
lot of
Him
help.
by
He was trying to
himself,
pull.
no.
Yes. Yeah. And I guess I'll keep in mind this is like as they're like prime versions, but not like I don't know, something crazy out of the ordinary, right? Like they're typical prime best versions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay. So I'm gonna move Makima through, and we're going to continue.
For this, it's been Makaba versus Digi. I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah. So let me make sure I did this right. Why did it not?
Technical difficulties.
Dude, I've never used this. I tried to play with it. This is so da 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 saving. We're saving. All right. Well, um, I'll just keep track of it. I have a notebook. All right. So
Back
next
up,
up,
pen and
yeah,
paper.
I know. I would have thought this would just like click through, like it looks like it would. All right. So next up, we have Denji versus Rize.
This is Chainsaw Man Digi, right? Well,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
I want to make sure because there is technically 2 Chainsaw Mans in the series. So
Yep. I only put one just to kind
okay,
of simplify it.
so
Yep.
we're combining Cheeto and
Vegeta.
Digi. Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. In that case,
Yep.
Digi.
I think Denji too. That one we saw.
I probably would have said Digi even if it wasn't, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Yeah. All right. So next we have the aging devil versus the death devil.
Oh, that would get harder.
Yeah, now it's
Both of them
oh
about the same
man.
pair. um,
So the death devil, they don't like show a single thing. They're like this huge potential, I guess, right? This
mm-hmm.
huge potential risk that kind of like goes into like in the topic of like, well, then everyone dies if the death devil's thing happens, right? So like there's in my head there's two different ways you can go about it with the death devil, right? It's like what we saw versus like what we heard, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the Death Devil was the second big threat in the series, and it ended up being kind of a dud, if you ask me.
Yeah, cuz they were even like worried about the war devil
Yeah.
like passing them, you know? So like I feel like they're just like this huge potential thing
So
and like
here's what I'm gonna say. I think it's gonna be the Aging Devil. And that's mainly because I think they could throw the Death Devil into that little realm they have, and I don't think the Death Devil could get out of that.
yeah. Yeah, Denji had pure all the mechanics working for him for that to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in agreement. I think if we were to go by strictly potential, sure, the Death Devil could win. But then you could also say that argument for a lot with the War Devil. Well, like if everyone is alive forever and in wars, like, the Death Devil is worried about it. And then you get into this like
We're
crazy
running.
hypothetical of potentials, which is like you're gonna be there
Yeah,
forever.
so we're running it based on what we have seen in the manga, and honestly, the Death Devil was not nearly as threatening as the Aging Devil in the series.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I agree. All right. So this next one is Aki versus Yoru or the War Devil.
War Devil.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aki.
Sorry,
I love you.
Aki.
I love you, guys.
Again.
But you guys screwed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the next one is Yoshida, he has the octopus.
Mm-hmm.
He's also in
That's
part
the
2.
opposite guy's name. We keep on forgetting
Yeah.
his name.
I had to look up his
So
name.
forgettable.
Yeah. Because they don't like
they say it like
his
once
name
or
is probably
twice.
said, yeah, like in part 1 and 2 collectively, like once or twice. Yeah. Yeah. So Yoshida versus Quan Chi.
Quan Chi.
Quan Chi. Yep. That's what I was thinking. All right. Let's see. These are all.
I think there was only a time when they fought in the manga, and Quan Chi just kind of completely stopped him out.
Yeah.
Like he was a closer fight than some of the other characters, but still. Yeah, no.
Yep. He's like a security guard. He's just
Yeah.
like kind of there while the superheroes are around. All right, the samurai, hybrid devil, and angel devil
How about the
or
katana
angel.
devil? The katana devil that fused with the human?
Yeah.
Okay, and the angel devil?
Yep.
That actually might be a bit closer.
It is closer. Because is it when it's when they touch Angel, not just when Angel like grabs him,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah, it
like
just has to
I
be skin
think
on skin. I don't know if it counts though for blades.
yeah. So
Though because he's a katana devil, it might count because that's technically part of his body.
but if he makes contact for let's say a split second
But Angel
and
also has the
just
ability to create weapons. So I don't know.
but does Angel have the recovery if the sword goes through and
That's
like cuts Angel in
true
half,
because
right? Like
Katanas has the same thing as Denji, where he's pretty much immortal.
yeah.
So yeah, and I guess in a
I'm
war
leaning
nutrition, it would be the katana.
yeah, I'm leaning towards the katana. Uh The internet called them samurai, so that's why I said that.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's see. This one's probably the easiest one. Bat Devil versus Darkness Devil.
Darkness.
Darkness. Yeah,
Darkness is
no,
was
no contest. The
yeah.
randomizer totally screwed the Bat Devil.
Yeah, no kidding. There's no contest there. It's like the Darkness Devil completely screwed over both Makima and Denji. Like,
Yeah, pretty much like
yeah,
the single weakest
no.
person or thing on this list to one of the strongest. Like, just
Yeah.
not even a chance.
Like one of the first
This,
characters and one of the first bosses and one of the bosses that not even they could defeat and they had to escape from.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. They retreated. They had two teams that were originally against each other, and then they were like, "We need to get out."
Temporary truce.
Temporary truce. There you go. And then this one. So, Falling Devil or the Doll Devil.
I think the Falling Devil might actually have it.
I think the Falling Devil does too. I guess I'm just sad that the Doll Devil is out this early
I know.
because
It was
that
such a
gets really like,
threat.
oh, I don't know.
It was such a
But it
threat in
gets
there, but the Falling Devil had such a insane
they're primal.
ability. Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah. They're not gonna even
I would
like
say like even the death. I would say the Falling Devil was more of a threat in the series than the Death Devil.
yeah, and if the Falling Devil recognizes that it's the Doll Devil, like the Doll Devil's never getting near the Falling Devil,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're just gonna keep eating him. Like it's
Well, that was a problem
not
that a lot
even
of them
not
had.
even. Yeah, exactly.
Just trying to get
Uh,
towards the Falling Devil.
and then if you do, it's like okay, then what? Because that still happened. They still got to him, and yeah.
Yeah.
All right, going down the list. So this one is this one's interesting. So we got Makima versus Denji.
So it'd probably be Denji.
That's technically
That
what happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is what happened. And this was
I'm
at
just annoyed
when
Makima's already
Denji.
out.
So Denji Makima made this whole elaborate plan to pretty much weaken the Chainsaw Devil by making
Yep.
people like him. So if we're doing Prime Chainsaw Devil when everybody was afraid of him, he would be more overpowered than the Control Devil than Makima. Yeah, it would
Mhm.
definitely be Denji.
Yep. Yeah, this list is gonna get really hard. Next up, we have the Aging Devil versus War or Yoru. I think it's the Aging Devil.
I'm thinking so too.
Without Denji, she's not getting out.
Yeah, it was the only reason why they got out was because Denji and
Yeah.
Vegeta pretty much found a way
She
to get around him.
Yeah, she literally was just like, "It's over," and Denji gets there, and then he just starts going and eating the tree or whatever, like making a weapon with Yoru. Like
Yeah, that being
he came in and
said,
started working on a plan.
at that
She had no
point,
plan.
I would say the only argument I have, which I don't think this is going to be enough, would be at that point in time we did not have the full power of war. That didn't come in
Sure.
until later on, but I still don't think it's going to be enough to edge it out. I think Agent Devil still
Yeah.
got it.
And then even before, like it seems like the aging devil pretty much just stops you in your tracks. Right? So like
Mm,
if we want to go that route, who's to say that the aging devil couldn't stop her bullets or tank shots?
yeah,
Right?
I
Like
would say that little world that he throws people into is kind of BS. Like
it is. It's
overpowered
the
ability.
ultimate I'm in charge video game thing, you know? It's like I'm the god here. Diffused everything about you. Yeah. So and I guess the next thing on like if anyone can, as we keep going through this list, because now I'm starting to think of like, well, how do you beat the aging devil? Well, you don't get caught like that.
Yes.
Okay, but then how, right? And so
Yeah.
then
It would still
so
be a major toss up, even with some of the more powerful characters, if they could win against him.
yep.
I would say the Death Devil, maybe, but I would still say no because the Death Devil that we know
And that's
in
still
the
the
manga
potential.
was against
Yeah.
killing. They kind of had this whole weird thing where they're like, "Oh, I actually don't want to kill anyone," which that's what they would have to do. They had to pretty much say you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we got to see at least an example, even if it was very
Yeah,
small, to be how simple it is, for the death devil to actually
kill
do some
someone.
damage. Yeah. All right. Next, this one's fun. Quan Chi or the samurai slash katana devil.
I think Quan Chi has it still.
I think Quan Chi still has it, but that would be a cool fight.
It would be.
Yeah. All right. Next, now we're back into heavy hitters. So now we got the darkness devil versus the falling devil.
Oh boy.
So my vote is the darkness devil.
I'm thinking darkness as well.
And I don't think it's I this is the thing where they're both primals, right? So far I think this is our first primal fight that we're talking about right here.
Mm.
So it, the darkness devil has this crazy regeneration and we get to see it where the doll devil had consumed a tiny piece of the darkness to where Denji had to go light himself on fire to, negate that, right? So if the darkness devil is beating up arguably like we talked about this in one of the other episodes of like he's just leagues above everyone in part 1 that meets him.
I mean, I would say
And then
darkness is,
Makima,
even in life, it's one of the biggest fears people have.
right, so that's what my head goes to is like between falling and darkness just on that alone. I when we were trying to brainstorm when we weren't caught up, what are some of the primal devils we could think of? Death was one we thought of. Falling, like, or not falling. Falling wasn't anywhere on our radar. And darkness, we were like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a huge fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just comes to my mind of like, yeah, what would like there's gotta be so many things that the darkness devil can do that he just didn't get the screen time for, which kind of goes into the potential of what about the death devil? But I don't know. I feel like we can get
They didn't
into
have a plague devil, did they?
I don't well, not that we saw.
Yeah, we didn't see plague devil, which I find that interesting because that's one of the four horsemen.
We had famine,
Yeah,
we had
they replaced.
famine,
They
control,
replaced. Control is not
war.
actually one of the four horsemen.
Right.
It was
They changed it.
plague.
Yep.
Yeah, they changed it. It was plague. It was
Oh,
plague,
and then death.
death, war, famine. But yeah, we never got a plague devil. That's interesting. That's what I was trying to figure out before. It's like, was control one of them? Like, no, it wasn't. Control's not one of the
No, just in this
four
one,
horsemen.
yeah.
They made control one of the four horsemen for some reason.
So what's your vote? Darkness or falling?
Darkness.
Who's winning? Yeah.
I'm gonna go for
that's where I'm
darkness.
at.
I can't think of a way for falling to actually beat darkness, which is interesting because I can actually think of a way for falling to beat aging.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that might actually work. It might be one of the devils like a face aging. But anyways, not here and there
Okay.
because that's not happening because I'm not sure if anybody can beat darkness. I'll be honest.
Yeah, he's he's scary. All right. So next up we have Denji versus aging.
They ended up the same way as last time. Digi would win. Still. But that is a stretch
But
because
that
at the
was
same
very
time, that was
circumstantial.
yeah, that was also very circumstantial. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to have Pochita out, but Denji in, and
Yeah.
that was their mistake. Could have left a way for Denji to pretty much fuel uh, Pochita
Wichita.
by keep on
Mhm.
feeding Pochita blood and keep on fighting against him until they finally got a way out.
And Denji needed help from Yoru and then Yoshida, right, to
Mm-hmm.
eventually like pull in the aging devil into his own world, and then they came up with the truce, right?
So yeah,
So
I
if it
guess
was just Denji, I don't think so.
yeah, probably not. Yeah, you're probably right. If it was just Denji at that moment, yeah, he probably would have lost. But since if he didn't have a reason to keep them separate, then both of them would be stuck in the world, and how would he get around that? Which he might be able to think
Right.
about. I mean, Denji's done some crazy things, and
I
I don't know though.
if it was out of 10 fights, I give aging 8 out of 10 of the fights.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
That's what my head goes to.
So aging,
All right. Quan Chi versus Darkness.
darkness.
Yeah, we saw that.
We already saw that. Yep.
It wasn't even just one, it was everyone. All right. So now we're down to aging versus darkness.
Now it's just I have the interesting
This one's
bit
weird.
because I think darkness could keep away from aging and not get trapped in the world. That's kind of my thought on this. I would give the edge to darkness.
You think he's evasive? Like he's traveling through the dark
Yeah,
and
he never
shadows and
really
stuff?
he stands in one place the whole battle, and they can't even get close to him.
Yeah.
So I don't know how aging would trap him into his world or how that would work, because he's also I would say darkness would be more powerful than aging. So I'm not even sure if aging. I think one of the limitations is that aging has to be stronger than the person to bring them in,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
equal to her. Or that's a good question though.
But what if darkness gets caught? Let's say darkness gets caught.
Could he
Does
get
darkness
out?
have a way out? I feel like he has to be able to.
Yeah, he's got to have a
And
way.
this is just pure headcanon. Like, there's got to be some way.
I would think that if he goes to hell, he could come out again.
Yeah,
like the Hell Devil is one
I,
of the ones that could go through different dimensions and just bring people to hell. I think he has
Yeah,
control
yes.
over the Hell Devil, or some way to be able to do that.
But I guess the question mark I have too is like the door that darkness fell out of to go greet them in hell.
Was
Like,
that created by
what?
him, or was that?
Well, I don't know.
We
So
don't
that's
know.
like, what is that thing behind the door that he's just sitting in? Is that like his lair? That's like the aging devils? Yeah. Like, I wonder if that's some other dimension or his own thing. Like,
But I would get
I
the
don't know.
edge to the Darkness Devil, anyways. Here, I think
That's
he's
what
getting it.
that's what I'm leaning to, because I even if you go, okay, let's play the game of, okay, darkness gets caught, he can't get out. I don't see a way aging can harm darkness unless he catches him. And then it's
And
just
it's
he's
not like
trapped. Like he's never gonna get rid of
Darkness
him.
never going to age because it's
Right.
kind of a forever thing. And he doesn't have the same ability as Denji that whoever he eats disappears. That's becoming a thing. That would be interesting for Denji to eat the Darkness Devil. I just thought of that.
The rest of the world just has no shadows and there's never
Everything's so
nighttime.
bright.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what was that? 16 different fighters. Darkness has first place, Aging has second, and then tied for third, fourth was Denji and Quan Chi. At least in that. Now, if we flipped it around and we're like 1 through 16, who's strongest? Makuma's getting a lot higher than she did.
Mhm.
She just got the short end of the stick and fought Denji
Yeah.
right off the rip, who actually defeated her.
In a
Yeah.
weakened state, he defeated her. So yeah.
Yes. Yep. All right. Well, let us know what you think on that. If we should do that for other manga that we go through. That was I'm sure there's gonna be some hot takes there, and a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
it is not really explained, which is why it's difficult. It's not as linear as like Dragon Ball Z. You know.
Yeah, well, we only got like small snippets of some of these devils. Like we said, the Death Devil, we just don't know. We never saw the
Yeah.
Death Devil's true power come out. So we're going based on
Yeah.
what we know about the character in the manga, and it's just the Death Devil will just kind of
I
say they're like,
I mean, for all we
eh.
know, since we didn't see like Death really do anything like at all, like it could be the equivalent of an imposter that looks like the Death Devil that all these other devils recognize, but their only power is to just imitate and be a chameleon. Like it could just not be them, right? Like we literally saw nothing, and they're like, "I'm so and so," and that's it. and then they're there for the the next part of the series.
Yeah, I
So
still don't get why she switched her name with Famine. That was really weird.
yeah, I didn't really get that either. And then she also went by like Lil D or something
Yeah,
weird.
well, all of them kind of had their own little weird names.
Yeah, she just
Yeah,
couldn't decide
don't
on what she wanted to be
understand.
called.
I don't
Yeah,
understand that at all. Like I said, the second part of the season was kind of weird and didn't care
it
for it
was.
nearly as much as the first.
No, yeah, I agree. All right, next up. So Blade and I started Ichi the Witch. We really didn't come up with a plan. We just kind of messaged each other like, "Hey, how far are you? Oh, I'm this far. Maybe we should stop so
Yeah.
we can talk about it."
We got to just an interesting point anyway in the manga, so it was fine.
Yeah,
And we were both literally,
yeah,
I think I was 3 chapters behind, which I just quickly read those 3 chapters, but I don't think we
right.
need to
Yeah,
chat about them
it's
because that's kind of a different
yeah,
story point that they're getting to.
yep, yep, yeah. So what are your thoughts so far?
It's interesting. The world seems kind of weird to me, and I'm still trying to figure out some of the logic because I have a lot of questions. I'm
Yeah,
hoping that they get answered as we go along with this series. Um,
yeah. I want to know why guys can't be witches.
yeah, that was one of my big questions. Like they kind of waved it off as like, oh, they don't have magic. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, and then immediately Ichi's the one that changes that, where
And
he's the first
they
ever.
also explained that away in some weird concepts. Like, well, if this Magica did so in this world, going to a bit of explain for people who haven't read it, they
Yeah,
have creatures called Magica or something on that line. So it's
magics.
Magics. There we go.
Yeah, with a J.
Magics. Yeah. Who they're the ones who give power to people. They have challenges, and if you meet their challenge, they give you a little crystal or ability that they can then activate to cast spells. And throughout the series, it's like only the beginning of the series, they pointed out only women can become can become witches,
Witches. Yep.
and they're the only ones who can capture these ones. And this guy's a hunter in this middle of a forest. And he's really good at hunting. To the point that he has traps and everything all around his little mountain. And he does, but he'll kill off the different creatures that ends up causing trouble for the townspeople at the base of the mountain. But as he's going up, he spots this magic. What was his name?
Euro.
Uro. Yeah, I know it
Uro.
was
Uro. Yeah.
Uro. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Uro, who is a magic's human hater. So they also had this determination later on is that some of them are human haters and some of them help support humans, and that kind of explains why some of the magics are easier for people to get than others.
Yep.
But he's a human hater, and this great witch,
Descaris.
Discaris. It was a very weird name. I kept talking. Whenever I see weird
There are a
name,
lot of
I try to
S's.
do it at first. Then I just sat there. This person. Whenever I read it, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I know who that
When
is.
I see her
It
face,
just-
I will tell you
I
that's
doubt
her.
I could pronounce it. Yeah. She goes and fights this guy, but his challenge is to break his heart in the center or something. And
Yeah, his trial. Yeah.
his trial, Lily says, I cannot be defeated by women. Like my heart cannot be destroyed by women, which apparently was a key to make a male witch. Because Ichi's sitting there watching this fight, and he's like, I want to fight this because he's an insane hunter that whenever he sees a challenge, he wants to do it. And
Yeah, and it's so much that he only like he wants to hunt this particular guy because
He looks
he like
powerful.
feels this aura. Well, and he talks about how it's like death for death kind of thing. That's his big like mantra he keeps talking, through. And so like he's convinced that this guy kills humans, right? And so he's trying to so like yes, he wants to go fight powerful things, but
He
there's
also
a
has a
little more that
code
they
where
have in
he's
it.
like, I don't want to kill things unless they kill people, or I need to have it
Yeah.
to survive, or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, he has an interesting code that he believes himself, and I just find it funny that it was death for death. I'm surprised they didn't do kill or be killed. Kind of the
Right.
same idea. um,
Yep.
so he actually does defeat this this human hater magics, and
Yep.
gains his power. And they're like, well, you shouldn't be able to have this power. uh,
Yep. And you got one of the most powerful ones.
So it amplifies whatever Uro's ability is, that when he activates him, any spell he uses gets maximized, like the most powerful output that they can have.
Mhm. Yeah, and so when he uses it, it also makes him like pass out for 3 days right now.
Yeah.
So it's like a last ditch effort uh as as you progress through the story.
So far, we've only seen him use it 3 times. The first time was by accident, which
Yep.
happens just after he gets ability. Which I don't even know what
Yep.
spell he casts. I don't think he mentioned anything. He's just like, huh? Then all of a sudden he casts a
Ma-
spell that destroys half the mountain.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then whatever. Someone feel free to correct this. I could go on Google Translate and guess, but someone feel free to tell me.
There's a
He's now
lot of
like
weird names in this anime.
yeah, there's a lot of weird names. He's now like this little spirit that's always like he's like the little devil on Ichi's shoulder, trying to corrupt him and everything. But it's also interesting because like other like witches can see him when he's doing it. It's not just like this inner monologue conversation that's happening. Because this Descaris, so she's like noted as like the most powerful witch, like period.
I'm still wondering how much of that is self.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then as you like
She
watch
is so
her,
full of herself.
she is I think she's kind of annoying. And I only think she's kind of annoying because if you're gonna have that title, I would think if she had it for any amount of time, she would have adjusted and not right, just be totally full of herself. She would be much more humble, wants to mentor or or just be isolated like you see a lot of these really powerful, characters are in different series. So it makes me believe it's very recent that she's like this. And then now she got this title and then she's a big diva. And I'm sure she is powerful, but from what we've seen, it's a little out there.
I think she is powerful. I don't
Yeah,
doubt that. Like, she did go toe to toe with the big one of the big bags. That's considered what
yeah.
the king of the magics. So
The one at the end
no,
that we
no,
were
no,
talking
no,
about, or
no. That's the god, if I remember, or something like that. The human
I'd
hater
have to look.
is a different person, but no,
Yeah,
Ura, whatever his name is.
King Uro. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say Uro
he's. I think
until
they
I can
call him
yell
the
that.
king of the magics because he does maximize any of them.
Yeah,
So, and she goes toe to
yeah,
toe with him, and just it becomes the war nutrition, and she's got to lose that.
yeah. She just isn't allowed to win, pretty much, just
Hmm.
because she's a girl. Uh, yeah. Um, I think it's fun. I think I need to read more into it. Right now,
I'm hoping to
it's
go into a bit more detail of why it is that men can't be
yeah,
witches, and what causes this magic to be in women or something along that lines. I want to see more detail. I want to see more world building, which we're only 25 chapters in, so there's still a lot that we
yeah,
can learn. I'm hoping
yep,
they do go into it, but yeah, there's just a lot of questions I have.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. They let's see. There's a natural mistrust originally with all the like head honchos of the witch association that they have, and Ichi has so much like innate ability to like sense things anyway without like magical prowess or understanding or something. Like he shoots one of his spells at like this mirror that apparently is like where other witches are watching him from, like a camera, I guess. Which was very interesting that he was like able to sense them as a like threat
So
up
yeah,
there.
apparently any murderous attempt, he has a natural reaction to react to, and
Hmm.
pretty much try to kill before he becomes killed. So
Yeah.
any little hint of people wanting to kill him, it's like, oh, that's gonna cause a reaction from this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't know much yet on his backstory, which I'm fine with. We just started. We pretty much know that he is like he pretty much was like
We became
abandoned. Pretty much, he was given a knife, and
Yeah, we became
what was the other thing?
tidbits. He did meet
Yeah,
a trainer of some sort that taught him all about fishing, living, and how to skin and take pretty much dress and take care of creatures that he's killed to fully maximize what he gets. So we know he
yeah,
has someone at that point. We don't. The person
yeah,
constantly has like a skull or something over his face, and we don't really know who that person is.
yep, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to keep going on it. It is a little bit, at least for me, it feels a little bit on the slower side.
It is. It
uh,
definitely is. We did actually find.
but
So it was only within the last what 10 chapter. It was. When did we meet the human hater? We found the big bad like in chapter 15 or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
Something
yep,
around there. I don't know the exact chapter. But the big bad of this series is called the human hating magics. He's a guy that can literally just kill.
yeah. He makes like these big voids or holes, you know. Doesn't he like just make huge explosions or something? Was what they were worried about,
They don't know how he
or
was
maybe
doing
it
it,
was
but he
ghosts.
literally just closed this area into like a force field type thing, and
Yeah,
just has these things pop up the ground on one end and just slowly go towards the other end. And anything that
yeah,
touches that gets becomes this
he's down.
weird monster thing and dies.
Yeah, yeah, and he's a humanoid, which we hadn't really seen yet, and
No,
so like naturally,
I mean before that,
those
our
types of
we've only
characters are
seen
normally
what?
more terrifying.
Yeah, we've only seen like four magics at this point. I think
Yeah, and they've all been like some creature of some sort, except like King Euro.
there was
He
the King
was like a
Hero.
humanoid is,
Yeah,
but then he has like a bunch of like, animalistic like clothing, I guess, or features.
yep.
But he
The
wasn't
second
like
one we
a
see was the fox that he got the lightning from.
yep.
Then he beats a well. I
Yep,
don't
and
think
then a
we have.
mushroom.
Then they do find mushroom. He doesn't get the ability for the mushroom because in the
Sure.
middle that's when the human hater guy comes in. I don't
Yep.
think we've seen much else. I mean, we saw little bits of the ice lady's world, how the mushrooms interacting with the other magics and not liking it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. Right now it is pretty slow, and they keep and it's weird that I say that cuz at the same time they are progressing the story, but at the same time like I haven't like felt like there's a lot for me to latch onto for these characters. It's just kind of like
They're kind of there.
going
It's an interesting
through the
story, but we
motions.
don't have
Yeah.
much. Yeah, we don't have their background. We don't have a bunch of things. It's just kind of happening.
Right. Yeah, they're just going from this, now to this, now to this. I can't remember the other girl's name. Kumiji.
Oh, right.
She's a
The
witch
third,
cadet.
yeah, the witch connect that kind of gets dragged into it because they trust her.
Yeah. Yeah. She's pretty funny.
Yeah, she
I
is.
think
I
she's one of my
think she's
favorite right
definitely
now.
the
Yeah.
comic relief of the series. So
Yeah. She's definitely fun. And Ichi, he doesn't know a lot of this stuff. So like um they make some Descaras and Ichi, they make some like family contract thing that's kind of weird. And then Ichi's like, "Oh, I want you to be my family, Kimichi," and he doesn't know what it entails, and she's like, "No," because like the
He
contract
just
pretty
he
much states
realized
like if
at
he
that point,
dies, she dies.
yeah, he doesn't know that little bit of it, but most of the other stuff he does, it's pretty much a slave contract. I
Right,
feel so bad
yeah.
for Ichi at
All
that
he
point.
knows is they would be like considered family,
Yeah,
right? And he's like, "We should be family." So, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we add to these reviews. Should we continue or drop?
yeah.
I think that's a good thing we can do together in
Which I'm
these.
interested enough to say that we could continue on with this one.
Yeah, I think we continue as well. Sweet.
We still need to wait
Uh,
until we know what our next anime is. Which, by the way, we are still doing a poll. It just there's some time
yeah.
difference
Let me
between
find the
when the
list.
release and when we do episodes, and this was a shorter manga, so we're like, let's do this one.
Yep. Yeah, I think we are gonna have it scheduled out when we talked about it originally. So in the previous episode. So we should be good on that. Let me see if I can very quickly find it. Because we did have four.
Yes, we did. It was
Here we go. Kagurabachi, Witch Hat, Altair, Sakamoto Days, and then Freerin Beyond Journey's End. Hopefully that is correct. Yeah. So if you haven't seen the poll on our YouTube, make sure to check it out and cast your vote. And we will be checking it. I don't know, right after this episode comes out. How about that? And excuse me, and we'll go from there. So yeah, we picked yeah, like Blade said, we picked Ichi the Witch because it was shorter, but we also wanted to start another one before we leave it up to you guys to help decide which one we should continue on next. But I do like the idea of the like, do we continue or we drop? And maybe we have folks come and tell us we're wrong and 100 reasons why, and maybe we give it another
look
chance if we did drop it. Or
if you guys could talk us out of our, if we say we're gonna drop it, and you guys are like, hey, there's actually a lot that explains this, and it's this, and this. You can talk us out of it.
yeah, it would
You're
be a
willing
good
to
redemption
continue
arc to be
on.
like, we were wrong.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
will pull on
the
him when I'm
meme.
wrong.
Yeah, it's like the meme of the guy that's mining, and then there's diamonds on the other side of the wall, and he doesn't know it and gives up.
Mhm.
Same thing. Uh, but yeah, so that's what we had. And I'll say it again. I know I'm at a different camera angle than I was last time, so I'm in the middle of moving. So apologies for anyone that likes things to be similar, the same. It'll probably change again in a couple of weeks, but we'll go from there. I'll let you all know. Uh, but yeah, this one was a little bit shorter. We the whole power outage thing kind of like made us rush through some stuff. So I will blame my power provider and tell them that's why I'm moving.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So make sure to check us out on YouTube. Make sure to check us out. We're everywhere on where there are podcasts, and come join the Discord. Come hang out with us. Appreciate you.
Yep. See you guys next time.